In this video, we're going to take a look at an introduction to rearranging formulae. So when we're looking to rearrange formulae, what we're looking to do here is change the letter that's on its own on one side of the equation. And to help with this topic, think about rearranging formulae as just solving an equation. So for example here, let's say we've got the equation a equals 4b minus 2. So 4b minus 2 here. And what I want to do here is make b the subject. So make b the subject. So make b the subject here. Okay. So if we're making b the subject here, what I want to do now is solve for b. That's what we're being asked to do here. So what I want to do here is get rid of anything that's on the same side as b here, because what we're looking to do is just get b equals at the very end. So I need to get rid of this minus 2 here. So the way that we do that is by using inverse operations. What's the opposite of subtracting 2? Well, that would be to add 2 to both sides here. Whatever you do to one side, do it to the other side. We're going to add 2 here to both sides. If we add 2 to both sides here, on the left hand side we'll get a plus 2. And on the right hand side here, this 4b minus 2, well if we add 2 to that, minus 2 plus 2, that would just give us 0. And what I'm going to get left with then is 4b. So from here now we're nearly done, we just want b on its own. So we need to get rid of this 4 in front here. So again, we're going to use inverse operations. What we're doing here is we're taking b and timesing it by 4. So what's the opposite of timesing by 4? Well, that would be to divide by 4. So we're going to divide both sides here by 4. So divide both sides here by 4. Like so. Well, on the left hand side here, we've got a plus 2 and we divide that by 4. We're just going to write that as a fraction. So it's going to be a plus 2 as my numerator. My denominator here will be 4. On the right hand side here then, 4b divided by 4, that would simply give us b there. Okay. And what we'd normally do here is we'd write the variable that we're looking to rearrange for, so in this case b here, we'd normally write that on the left hand side. You don't have to, but that's normally how we'd present the solution. In that case then, get that b is equal to a plus 2, all divided by 4 there. Okay. And there we have it, so that would be the solution there if we were looking to make b the subject. Okay. So that's a very quick introduction there to rearranging formulae. So what we're going to do now is just take a look at some practice questions here for rearranging formulae. So if we start off with question 1 here, we're asked to make z the subject of the following formula. So we've got the equation here, q equals 3z minus 4. So as we begin with here, let's just write down this equation. So q is equal to 3z minus 4. So to begin with here, if we're making z the subject, what I need to do is just get z on its own. Okay. So in other words, I'm just looking to solve for z here. I need to get rid of anything that's on the same side as z. So to begin with, I need to get rid of this minus 4 here. And again, to do this, we just use inverse operations. What's the opposite of subtracting 4 here? Well, that would be to add 4. And remember, whatever we do to one side here, we do that to the other side. We're going to add 4 to this side as well. On the left hand side, then we're going to get q plus 4. We get q plus 4. On the right hand side here, we've got 3z minus 4 plus 4. And in that case, we'd simply get 3z. So from here now, we're nearly done. We just want to get rid of this 3 here in front of the z. But remember, what we're doing here with this letter and number together is we're multiplying. What's the opposite of timesing by 3 here? Well, again, using inverse operations, that would be to divide by 3. We divide by 3. And remember, whatever we do to one side here, we also do that to the other side. Okay, so divide both sides by 3 here. On the left hand side, we've got q plus 4, and we divide that by 3. Again, we don't overcomplicate this, we just write this as a fraction. So what I'm going to get here is q plus 4 as my numerator, and that's all divided by 3. My denominator here is 3, and that would be equal to 3z divided by 3, which in this case would simply give us z there. Okay. And if I put the rearrange variable here on the left hand side, what we get then is z equals q plus 4. We get q plus 4 all over 3 there. Okay. And there we have it. So we've made z the subject, and that gives us the solution there to question 1. Moving on to question 2 now, where we want to make x a subject of 4x minus 2y minus 7 equals 0. So to begin with here, let's just write down this equation. We've got 4x minus 2y minus 7 equals 0. So to begin with here, what I want to do is I want to get rid of this minus 2y and this minus 7 here. So to begin with, let's just get rid of the minus 7. So again, using inverse operations here, get rid of minus 7. We now need to add 7 to both sides. We start by adding 7 to both sides here. On the left hand side here, we get 4x minus 2y. And then we've got minus 7 plus 7, which in that case, that would just simply give us 4x minus 2y. We get 4x minus 2y on the left hand side. On the right hand side here, we've got 0 plus 7, giving us 7. We now want to get rid of this minus 2y here. Again, just using inverse operations, we're now going to add 2y to both sides. So plus 2y to both sides. On the left hand side here, we've got 4x minus 2y. So then if we add 2y here, we'd simply get 4x. We get 4x on the left hand side. On the right hand side here, we've got 7. So if we add 2y to that, we get 2y plus 7. And then finally here, we just want x on its own. We're looking to make x a subject. And I need to get rid of this 4 here in front. What we're doing here is we're multiplying x by 4. So the opposite of timesing by 4 is to divide by 4. So divide by 4 on both sides here. On the left hand side, we've got 4x divided by 4, which would give us x. On the right hand side here, again, don't overcomplicate this. We've just got a fraction here. My numerator being 2y plus 7. And my denominator here being 4. Okay. And there we have it. So we've made x a subject there. That gives us the solution there to question 2. And finally then, if we take a look at the very last question here, question 3, we're asked to make y the subject of x equals the square root of 2y plus 1 all over 3. So to begin with here, let's just write down this equation. So x is equal to the square root of 2y plus 1 all over 3. So before I can do anything here, we're looking to make y the subject, but before I can even attempt that, we need to get rid of this square root here. So like always, we use inverse operations to do this. What's the opposite of taking the square root here? Well, that would be to square both sides. Okay, so we're going to square both sides here. If I square the left hand side, we'd get x squared. And on the right hand side here, if we square this square root, then the square root would just cancel essentially. They're the inverse of each other. I'm just going to get left with 2y plus 1 all over 3. Get 2y plus 1 all over 3. So again, we're looking to make y the subject here. So because I've got 2y plus 1 all over 3, I need to get rid of this fraction here. And to do that, because we're dividing by 3, we're just going to times both sides here by 3. Okay? So times both sides by 3. On the left hand side then, we've got x squared times by 3, which would give us 3x squared. On the right hand side here, we take 2y plus 1 over 3 and times that by 3. We simply get left with 2y plus 1. So again, we're looking to make y the subject here. So I now need to get rid of this plus 1 here. So using inverse operations, we're now going to subtract 1 off both sides. So minus 1 off both sides here. On the left hand side, we're going to get 3x squared minus 1. So 3x squared minus 1. On the right hand side here, we're simply going to get 2y. And from here now, we're nearly done. So if I just write it again at the top here, just so we can continue our working, 3x squared minus 1 is equal to 2y. So if we just want to make y the subject here, and I need to go to this coefficient here of 2, so this number in front. And to do that, because we're timesing by 2, using inverse operations, that means we now need to divide by 2. Remember, whatever we do to one side here, do it to the other side. So divide both sides by 2 here. On the left hand side, we're going to get 3x squared minus 1 all over 2. So 3x squared minus 1 all over 2. And that would be equal to 2y divided by 2, simply giving us y there. Okay? And there we have it. So, like always, if I put the variable that we're looking to rearrange for here on the left hand side, what we get here then is y equals 3x squared minus 1 all over 2 there. Okay, and there we have it. So that's the solution there to the very last question, question 3. And that brings us to the end of this video on rearranging formulae. So in the next video, we're going to take a look at exam revision for rearranging formulae.